All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be picking up where we left off in yesterday's video, where we went over the first three leaders from OP12. We went over Rayleigh, Koala, and Purple Yellow Rosinante. Now, in today, we're going to be going over Blue Purple Sanji, Green Zoro, and then Blue Kuzan. All right, so if you did not watch yesterday's video, be sure to check that out. That was a lot of fun. OP12 has been updated on the sim for at least most of the cards. I don't think all the cards are in just yet, but Batsu and his team have updated the sim, and now we have access to the OP12 leaders and a few cards from OP12, just like normal cards, available on the sim now for testing. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me tell you what you're getting into. Break it down real quick. First things first, we're going to check out the decks that I'm running for today's video. After that, we're going to check out 3 games on the sim, 1 game for each leader using the decks we're going to be going over. And then after that, we're going to be going back to the sim, and I'll talk to you guys about what I'm thinking with each one of these leaders and the direction I think they should go, the direction we should build them going forward, and more importantly, what kind of support I hope they get moving forward, with the spoilers coming out for OP12. All right, so I'll have everything time-stamped in the general description. I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. Excuse me. First up, we got Blue Purple Sanji here. I'm going to read what the leader does, and then we're going to go through the list. Sanji is a blue-purple, 5,000 power, 4 life, Straw Hat, Vinsmoke family leader with activate main once per turn, Dawn -1, activate up to 1 Straw Hat crew type event card from your hand with an original cost of 3 or less. And then it has a when attacking effect. Excuse me. This when attacking effect is actually very strong. Notice what it does. If the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So if it's equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, that really helps out a lot of purple cards, right? Like, there are a ton of purple cards that just have a Dawn -1 attached to it that are just really powerful, right? Like, think of 5-cost Queen, right? I think 5-cost Queen is probably like one of the best examples I can think of. Let me just type in Queen. And notice I'm not running that in today's version, today's deck list, but this is something I might be pursuing in the future. This card, Queen, is extremely powerful because it's a 5-cost 6K with blocker that has an on-play Dawn -1 to draw 2 and trash 1. Okay, and by the way, Nami is kind of like the upgraded version of that, to be fair, because this is a 5-cost 6K 1K counter blocker, and if your leader's multicolored, draw 3, trash 2, right? Or it's really draw 3 and put 2 on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So I will say this is definitely a very straightforward example of what I would consider to be power creep. Yes, Queen can be played in any kind of deck, even mono purple, whereas Nami does require you to be in a multicolored deck. But at the same time, it's still, let me just back to the example real quick. Bear with me. Hang on, guys. Hear me out. With effects like this when attacking for Sanji, you're going to be able to play out a card like Queen, an effect that has a Dawn -1, and then you can attack afterwards and get the Dawn right back. Because in a normal game, let's say we're starting off, we're at 1 Dawn, then our opponent goes to 2, we go to 3, they go to 4, we go to 5, we go to 6, right? So it just kind of goes in that progression. So if we're on a 5 Dawn turn and our opponent's on a, they just got done with their 4 Dawn turn, well, we can actually play out the Queen first before we attack to go down to 4 Dawn and do a draw 2, trash 1. Well, now we attack with our leader and we go back to 5 Dawn. So that is actually very powerful, right? There's a lot of potential there. Not my my greatest example with the Queen and Nami there, but hear me out. That does open up a lot of possibilities. Another one might even be like, let me see, there's 6-cost King, there is 7-cost, well, we're running Luffy Taro, by the way, but there's also like 7-cost Eustace Captain Kidd. That allows you to get value from it every single turn, or even like this 7-cost Sanji here. And I'm sure if you go down every single purple card, I'm sure you can find a Dawn -1 effect to use all the way up the tree, right? Like just all the way up the the cost curve. I'm sure you'll be able to find a card that you can run in there, even like 9-cost, even like 9-cost Linlin, right? This is a Dawn -1 effect. So if you're on a 9 Dawn turn and your opponent is on an 8 Dawn turn, you play out Linlin first, you move some cards around, right? Like you trash a card, you gain a life, you push their guy back to life, and now you're both at 8 Dawn, right? Okay, well now attack with your leader. and you're back to 9 Dawn. So it is pretty nice. It's a pretty cool effect there. Even like the 9-cost Luffy and things like that, there's going to be a lot of potential there. So I'm a big fan of that when attacking effect, and I didn't think I would be until I started playing, I started play testing this. Because at first I thought the Activate main was just going to be like by far the best effect here, but we haven't seen enough support just yet to really see what that's going to be able to do. And let me say that right now up front before I forget. Bear with me, guys. We have almost no information on new cards from OP12 yet, okay? So there's not a lot of testing we can do on the new OP12 support because we haven't seen it yet, right? So there could be a really solid event that comes out that's perfect for this Activate main that's built for this leader, but we haven't seen it yet. You know what I mean? We'll have to see what comes out. But, given the tools we have available to us, this is what I came up with first. So let me go ahead and break down the deck list. We're going to run through each card and we'll talk about it. We're running 2 of this OP11 Sanji. Don't worry, we'll talk more about this in a minute. We're running 3 Nami, running 3 of the 8 costs. This is the new OP11 5-cost 6K blocker Nami. We'll talk about all these OP11 and EB02 cards, guys. Don't worry. Then we're running 3 of the 8-cost Secret Rush Luffy, 2 of the 6-cost Purple Secret Rush Luffy. Then we're running 4 2K counter Franosuke, 4 Sanji, 4 Trafalgar Law, 4 Usohachi, 4 Sangoro, 4 Zoro Jiro, 4 7-cost Luffy Taro, 4 of Let's Crash This Wedding. This is just a top 5 searcher for, you have to have a multicolored leader, but this is a top 5 Straw Hat searcher, okay, in a event form. Then we have 4 of this Gum Gum Jet Culverin, and then 4 Gum Gum Giant. That's right, guys. We are a Straw Hat leader, so we can run Gum Gum Giant. Really good stuff there. Okay, so let me break down these new cards here, because I think most people know what all these other cards do. Actually, I'll go back. I'll go kind of like in reverse here. These cards come out in OP11. These are blue Straw Hat crew, type cards here. Jet Culverin is a 3-cost event with a main. Return up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 4 or less to the bottom of their deck. Okay. It's kind of like a miniature version of 3,000 Worlds. And unfortunately, 3,000 Worlds we can't use because that's a 4-cost card, right? Sanji can only use his active... I mean, we could still use it, but we can't use it with the leader effect, I mean. Let me bring that up on the screen real quick. Type in World, go to blue. Okay. Here it is. So this is a Straw Hat card, and it's a 4-cost event with the effect that bottom decks a 5 or less. However, yeah, we can run this, just like we can even run Red Rock as well, right? Because Red Rock is also a Straw Hat crew card, but Sanji's leader effect only allows us to cheat out these events if they're 3-cost or lower. So this Gum Gum Jet Culverin is really nice for what we're trying to do, because we can just return 1 Dawn and play this out for free. And it's a 3-cost card that bottom decks a 4 or less, and the trigger bottom decks a 1 or less. So this is kind of the best option we have currently to combo with the first effect that Sanji has. This is just a top 5 searcher, like I said. Good stuff here. And the trigger is activate the main effect. Now, the other cards up here, this is coming out very soon for us in the West. EB02, I think, is right around the corner. I think it's like a week away at the time you're recording this video and putting it out. So it's like, this card's coming out very soon. It's a 6-cost 7K card that says, if your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 5 or more Dawn cards on the field, this character gains Rush. This is just a really nice card here. This is just a really nice, a really nice character here. Okay, then we're running 3 of the new 8-cost Secret Rush Luffys for blue. This comes out in OP11. It is an 8-cost, 8,000 power Rush character with, when attacking, you may trash a card from your hand and return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, and then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or character. So we're going to bounce cards out of the way, or potentially bounce back utility cards for us, like this Usohachi or this Trafalgar Law. We can bounce cards out of the way or back to our hand if they cost 4 or less, and then we're potentially swinging in for 9K, and this is a Rush card too. So really good stuff here. It's kind of a nice, like, natural progression in this deck to, like, a 6-cost, 8-cost play, right? We can play this out. If we're not ramping Dawn, we can actually play this right out on curve as a 6-cost, 7K Rusher against our opponent. Because they'll be on 5 Dawn, we're going to 6 Dawn. Okay, well, slam down a 6-cost, 7K, we're rushing in, and then on the next turn, we're on 8 Dawn, they're on 7 Dawn. Okay, slam down this Luffy and just go to town, right? It does seem pretty solid there. Another good 6-cost card we're going to talk about in a second is the Sanji. So that is something I was kind of messing with, kind of toying with the idea of, is some type of like really natural Straw Hat curve here. But I don't know if that's going to be the best way to build this deck. I think there's a lot of other options that that I've not explored yet that might be even better for this leader. Next up is Nami. This comes out in OP11. I think most people kind of know what this card does by now. It's a 5-cost 6K, 1K counter blocker that has on play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 cards and place 2 cards from your hand at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. It's just a nice 5-cost 6K blocker that has some hand fixing. Okay, then we have Sanji here. This card's kind of cool. This comes out in OP11 as well, but I don't know how practical it is. It's a 6-cost 7K. When this character is KO'd by an opponent's effect, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and play up to 1 character card with a type Straw Hat Crew and a cost of 5 or less, then place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then on play you can bounce a character with 5,000 power or less to the owner's hand. So this is a really interesting card, and when I was doing testing, I saw someone else running this card, and that's what made me want to try it. I didn't really come up with this idea by myself. I saw someone else using it on the sim, and I thought, okay, well, that might be really cool. I'll give it a try, but it has not been super practical. I will say that it has not really been helping me out too much. This card might be bait. We'll have to see what happens. But in theory, it's kind of decent because you can cheat out a Nami potentially in the top search. You can Zoro, Sangoro. I mean, maybe even cheating out an Uso Hachi would not be bad if you have $8 or more on the field, because you might be able to rest down one of their attackers. There could be something there, right? But it can also cheat out Franosuke, and I think that's about it. But that's still some pretty decent amount. That's a pretty decent amount of targets. And yeah, that's about it. All the other cards I think are pretty well known by now. They've been around for quite some time. This is the blue-purple Sanji deck we'll be running in today's video. Now let's check out green Zoro. Okay, so OP12, Zoro testing. Here we go. This one, so my first direction that I've chosen to build this leader is Supernovas. I'm not saying it will stay that way, so please do not misunderstand what we're going for here. I'm not saying that this deck here is the best, most optimal one, or even the best direction for the list. But I was kind of liking the way I felt like there was a lot I could get out of the Supernova package, because most of the Supernova stuff that I would want is, like, for example, Trafalgar Law, Cavendish, the other Trafalgar Law, and even Basil Hawkins. These are all slash characters, and there is some new like slash searching potential now with cards like Kazuki Hiyori and Perona. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, guys. Let me read the leader and then break the list down. But let me just say this: there's some pretty interesting stuff going on with like the slash attribute and searchability for it with some of the cards we're about to look at. Okay, so let me read the leader and we'll go through the list. So we got a 5,000 power, 5 life mono green leader here. Zoro, he is a Supernova and Straw Hat character. He has Dawn ×3, activate main once per turn. If this leader has battled your opponent's character during this turn, set this leader as active, and then this character cannot attack characters with an original power, or excuse me, with an original cost of 7 or less during this turn. I don't like how they did that, by the way. I don't think it should say with an original cost of 7 or less during this turn, because that could have helped us actually play directly into Black Yellow Koala. It could have helped us counter. It could have made Zoro into like a natural counter for Black Yellow Koala. And I don't know, maybe that's not necessary, but I feel like that could have actually been a really good balancing act they could have done. What am I talking about, by the way? So Black Yellow Koala, from what we've seen so far from the limited OP12 spoilers that have been released, from what I've seen so far, there's quite a bit of characters that are actually like 8 cost on your turn. Okay, like, or they're just 8 costs, period, right? They get plus to their cost so that they can get to 8 and they can turn on the leader effect. Well, I think that's great, right? And this leader, I feel like, should have been a natural counter to that, but look what they did. Then this card cannot attack characters with an original cost of 7 or less during this turn. I'm not a huge fan of how they did that, but it is what it is. But otherwise, the effect is very powerful, because basically what this leader is meant to do is attack a character on the board, attack face. Attack a character on the board, attack face. That's literally what this leader is meant to do. Okay, now with that in mind, if you're playing against an opponent who's playing some really big characters on the board, well, that's not a problem, because now if it's an 8 cost or higher character, you know, original cost of 8 or higher, or 8 or more, okay, we can just like load up everything on our leader and just start smashing into their board multiple times. So that's the idea behind this leader. So now I'm running 4 Cavendish, I'm running 4 of the 2K counter Apu, I'm running 8 of the 2K counter Apu, guys, you know, 4 of the 1 cost and 4 of the 2 costs. We're running 4 of the Blocker Law, 3 Eustace Captain Kidd, Jewelry Bonnie, 2 Jewelry Bonnie, 2 of Basil Hawkins, 2 of this new Hiyori we'll talk about in a minute, 4 of the new Perona, 4 of Capone Beige, this is just a 1 cost blocker, 4 of Supernova Searcher Bonnie, We talked about this. You know, like I said, we're running all 8 of the 2K counter Scratchman and Pooh. Running 3 of the Restand Law, 4 of the 2K counter Supernova Luffy, 2 of Demonic Aura, 9 Sword Style Asura Demon 9 Flash. Very easy name to remember. We're running 2 of these because these are Supernova searchable. And then we're also running 4 of this new card coming out in OP11, Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. Okay? We have a lot of cards to talk about. Just note, we're not going to talk much about this card. This is just a 2K counter. Some people may not have seen this card. It's just a searchable 2K counter. That's all I'm using it for. I'm sure there's going to be better options in the future. So Demonic Aura 9 Sword Style Asura Demon 9 Flash. This card is a 2-cost plus 3,000 power event. But it also has, then you may rest one of your cost 3 or greater characters, and if you do, you can rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. So it's going to be, and then the trigger can allow you to rest up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. But the main idea here is it's a searchable event that can buff our characters, and it actually works pretty nicely with a card like Cavendish. Now, we don't have a lot of like really great targets to rest down for 3, you know, to rest down our opponent's character with the second part of this effect. However, if we just pay 2 and buff our Cavendish to 9k, well, now we can swing in for 9k with our Cavendish and then get the 2 Dawn right back. You see what I'm saying? So this card is actually really incredible, like synergistically with Cavendish, okay? So there's a lot going on there. I am a big fan of this card in the deck, and it's searchable by, you know, pretty much everything, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Then we're also running this new Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. This comes out in OP11. It is a 1-cost main. You may rest one of your Dawn. So just imagine it's a 2-cost event that allows you to rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Well, again, and this is Supernova searchable. So yet again, we have an absolutely incredible card to use with Cavendish. Like, we can use this Demonic Aura 9 Sword Style Asura Demon 9 Flash with Cavendish to swing for really big numbers and stand the Dawn back active. We can get our 2 Dawn get it back right away. Or we can pay 2 with this 1-cost plus 1 event here that can rest down to 5 or less to get around some attackers. And then whenever we attack with Cavendish, we get the value right back. So I am a big fan of these cards with Cavendish, and same thing with Jory Bonnie, right? Like, it's the same idea here where it's like pay 1 to play out Bonnie, pay 1 to rest into the effect, and now we get the Dawn right back. And then this Gum Gum Elephant Gatling has one other effect as well. It is a 1-cost counter that can give your leader plus 3,000 power for the battle. Okay, so everything else is pretty well known around here. Right here, so Perona comes out in OP12. This is a 1-cost 2,000 power 1k counter searcher with on play if your leader has the slash attribute, which ours does. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal up to 1 slash attribute character card or up to 1 green event card and put it into your hand, then place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then Kazuki Hiyori here is the exact same thing. It's a 1-cost 0 power 1k counter, but it is a activate main and rest to Dawn. So it's like the Bonnie, it's like a Bonnie type of searcher where you can rest this character down in 1 Dawn. And if your leader is Zoro, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 slash attribute card. It should probably say 1 slash attribute character card or a green event card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So guys, pretty much every card in this deck is searchable. Every single card in this deck is searchable by the Bonnie, but then most of the other cards are still searchable by the Perona and the Kazuki Hiyori, including the events. Not all of them, of course. You know, like for example, this Bonnie here. You know, this is a special attribute character. Slash, guys, for those who are not aware what attributes are, notice in the top right corner of Cavendish's card, it says slash up there by the 6,000. That's what an attribute is. There are 5 attributes in the game. There is strike, slash, wisdom, ranged, and special. Okay, those are the 5 currently in the game. So those are what attributes are. And up until recently, they haven't really been used very much. And it looks like Bandai has noticed that, and they're trying to use those more. You know, now they're trying to, you know, actually have a reason for having those attributes in the top corner. Okay, because before that, they weren't really used all that much. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So that's Perona and that's Kazuki Hiyori, and that's actually all the new cards I'm running. There aren't a lot of cards in the sim just yet from OP12. You know, we have to give those guys time to get all the cards in. There is a card that I do want to try very soon it's kind of made for Zoro, because this effect is a Dawn ×3 activate main effect, okay, guys? Understand right away that this effect here You know, Dawn times 3 is massive. That's a big investment, and there is a card that has been spoiled that basically allows you to tap a character, or it might be an on play. I think it might be a 4-cost on play or a 4-cost character that taps, and it gives 3 Dawn to your leader, and then rest down a character. I think a 4 or less character, something like that. I think there's a lot of value to that right now. Excuse me. I do think that can, you know, that is something that I definitely want to mess around with in the future for this leader. Another card that I did think about adding, I just didn't think about it fast enough, is Hody Jones. This will be in the final version of the list. I can pretty much guarantee you that. The card is just too strong. If you're building a green deck right now and there's no Hody Jones in there, either A, you might need to choose to go a different direction with the deck. I'm trying to be as politically correct here as possible. You might have to reconsider the direction of the deck, or B, you know, you're running something very specific where you can't afford to run it. But guys, this card is so strong and has such high utility, and it can be run in any green deck. There's no restriction on it. You should be running this card in green, but it's not going to be in today's video. Okay, so that's it for Zoro. Now let's go ahead and go over to the last deck here. We got Kuzan. Okay, so Kuzan, I'm gonna read the leader effect and we'll go through the list. So 5,000 power, 5 life, mono blue, navy leader Kuzan. When you trash cards from your hand due to your navy card effects, you may draw an equal number of cards that was trashed due to an effect. So, the idea here is you have to trash cards to get any advantage from this leader's effect, right? And there are cards that can do that. There's actually not much in the sim just yet on that. There hasn't even really been much spoiled just yet. There's only been one card, you know, there's only one blue card that's in the sim right now that we can even mess around with that even does anything for our leader's effect, and it is this 6-cost 8K Kuzan that we'll talk about in just a second. But before this card was even introduced, there were a few other options. For example, let me go to, so this card's Stainless. He's a 4-cost 5,000 power 1K counter Navy character that has activate main and discard 1 card from your hand and rest this character. So tap this character and discard a card from hand, and you can return up to 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of the owner's deck. So that's actually pretty good. And notice what it says. It says return up to 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of the owner's deck. So if we wanted to, what we could actually do here is if we have this card down, we can rest, we can activate main, rest this character and discard a card, and then choose no target and just draw a card with this effect. So we can basically tap and cycle with this character if we needed to. It's an option. Then we have, so let me say this real, I was going to go through the list first, but let me talk about these few other cards because I do want to talk about the other cards real quick before we dive into the list. Suru is another one here. This is a 2K counter, 5 cost, 4,000 power 2K counter. On play, trash 2 cards from your hand, and then your opponent returns 1 of their characters to the owner's hand. So that means we get to trash 2 cards, and then with our leader effect, we get to draw 2 cards. It ends up being a trash 2, draw 2 cycle. And then the other main one to talk about is Aramaki, which is an 8-cost, 8,000 power blocker for Navy that has activate main once per turn, discard a card from your hand, and then return 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of the owner's deck. Then this character gains plus 3,000 power for the turn. Not bad. And then there is also It's a Waste of Human Life. We'll talk more about all this in a minute. This one's kind of fun because, okay, you will trash all the cards in your hand back down to 5 cards in hand if you use this effect here, this event. And then all 3 costs or lower characters would go to the bottom of the owner's deck. So that's kind of interesting, but 3 costs and lower characters aren't really the biggest deal in the world. I don't know, maybe against Rayleigh, right? You know, wink, wink, maybe against Rayleigh, we'll have to see. But just, I like the idea of, like, if we had, like, 6 or 7 cards in hand, we do this effect, and then we trash 2 cards, or 2 or 3, you know, however many cards in hand, you go back down to 5, and then we'll cycle them right back, you know, then we'll draw 2 cards from that, or however many it was with our leader's effect. There's some potential here. Okay, so that's the leader effect, and that's kind of how it works with some of the cards we have. Now I'm going to run through the list. We're running 4 Stainless. We're running 4 Hina. This is a great card here. 3 costs 4K. On play, if you have 5 or less cards in hand, draw a card. Then we're running 4 Borsalino. Running 2 Maynard. This is just a 2-cost blocker. Running 4 2K counter Garp. 2 X-Drake, 4 Aramaki, 4 Gion, 2 of the 3-cost Kuzan from way back in OP06. It's just an on-play draw 2 and place 2 on the bottom of your deck. It does not trash the card, so it doesn't have a lot of synergy with our leader, but it's still a decent card to play on curve. 3 costs 5K, fix your hand. Running 4 Searcher Tashigis, 4 2K counter Surus, 4 of the new 6-cost Kuzan. This is another one we have to talk about in just a second. 2 Houndblaze, 2 It's a Waste of Human Life, and 4 Gravity Blade Raging Tigers. Now, this new Kuzan, let's talk about this for a minute because everything else we already know about. This is a new card obviously made directly for Kuzan, the leader, coming out in OP12. It's a 6-cost, 8,000 power Navy character, and it has, if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character gains +1 cost. So it ends up being a 7-cost character for, it's easier to protect that. And then on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, and then up to 1 of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you're going to play this card out, trash a card, which will draw you a card with your leader's effect, and then you're going to lock down one of their characters for the turn. And you're slamming down a 6-cost 8K. That is a really big character. Really good stuff there. And that's about it, guys. That's it for the lists. These are all pretty straightforward. This is just a 2-cost blocker. This card came out back in OP05. 7-cost, 8,000 power Borsellino. On play, bottom deck of 4 or less. Seems good. And everything else is pretty straightforward. All right, that's enough. That's enough yapping. Let's see how these decks are going to do on the sim. And then at the end of the video, we'll look at them again and see if we can come up with any ideas to improve on them. Now, first game up, we do have a game of, let me move this back. We have a game of blue-purple Sanji versus green Zoro. So volume is off, and let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. Blue-purple Sanji, there's so many different ways I want to build this leader moving forward, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's like, just make a solid list, like maybe even a Don Quixote Pirates type of list, like a purple list for Don Quixote Pirates, and just recycle some powerful events and stuff like that. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play out we end up getting the Trafalgar Law afterwards, and we played that out on our turn 2 after swinging for 7. We did a search on turn 1, and we're starting to fix our hand a little bit, and let's see what our opponent does here. Okay, they're going to swing in for 8. We end up taking that. That's kind of scary, being a 4-life leader, and I don't think I have any life gain in this deck, so that's a little bit scary at that point. I also don't have a ton of blockers either. Actually, I think I might have more than I think, because I have the 5-cost Nami and the 6-cost 2K counter Sanji. We play out the Zoro. We do some searching. This Zoro's just attacking in. They play out the Cavendish, swing for 8, and I'm down to 2 life. It's really not looking pretty because this is a 5-life leader we're going against as well, and they just got down to Cavendish. We're going to play out the Luffy Taro to do a Dawn -1, play out the Zoro, do some searching. My hand is stacked. We're going to swing for 5, get our Dawn right back up to our opponents. I really like that about this leader. We swing 5, they take it. We swing 6, they 2K counter out, and now it's their turn. Our hand is completely stacked right now. We have so much in hand right now. They're going to swing for 6. We're going to counter out of that. They get Dawn active. Let's see what they choose to do with their leader. So they should go 11 into, 11 into 6. We let that go. They go 11 into face. We take it. And now we have to sit behind some blockers and go from there because otherwise we're in trouble. We're going to play out the Nami. We're going to get rid of our 2 dead cards in hand. I want these blockers out of the way. We're going to use our leader effect here, activating to use this Jet Culverin for free, pushing that beige to the bottom of the deck. We're going to go 8 into 6. He lets it go very wisely because we were just going to keep going 8 into 6, right? We were going to go 8 into 6, 8 into 6, and then 7 into 6 probably. But he let it go, and here we go. So we swing for 7, we swing for 7. We're going to leave 1 Dawn active. We have 1 life, and we have Gum Gum Giant in hand, and we have a ton of 2K counters. We actually have 5 2K counters in hand and a Gum Gum Giant and 1 life. We're doing just fine right now. Okay, so let's see what he chooses to do. He plays out a beige. He plays out Arlong, locking down our leader. That's interesting. So Arlong is a slash character, guys. Arlong is a slash character, so that's pretty cool. They're locking down our leader here with the effect. They trashed a buggy, and now what are they going to do? They still have 6 Dawn to work with here. They're going to swing for 11 into what? Face. Okay, so they should have swung into one of my characters first because they get to stand it up for free. We take the hit, we get a Jet Culverin, and we bottom deck their blocker. And now we're just going to go for lethal, guys. We're just going to swing for, I think we're going to start with a 7K swing. Okay, they took that. So pause. So after that, guys, we were just going to swing for like everything on on Luffy Taro. It would have been 9 plus 8, we would have swung for 17 and game over. Or another option we could have done was, now our leader cannot attack. Remember that, guys. Our leader cannot attack because of Arlong, but we could have attached 1 Dawn for Nami if he didn't take that to take 2 more cards from hand, and then we still could have done an additional attack with Trafalgar Law. We had a lot of options there, but that made it really easy for us since they did not take that, since they didn't counter out of the first attack and they have no blocker. Okay, well now it's just going to be swing for 7 and swing for a bajillion with Luffy Taro. And again, guys, our hand is pretty stacked. Our hand, like all things considered, our hand is absolutely stacked. Okay, good game to our opponent there. That was a fun one. That was a pretty fast game. Next up, we have a game of Green Zoro versus Black Yellow Koala. I love seeing all these new leaders, by the way, guys. This is so much fun seeing all the new leaders in action, even though we don't have all the support just yet. All right, volume is off. Speed is on 2x, I believe. Yep, just checked that. And here we go. We're going to go second here. I think we want to go first with this deck, guys, because we have a lot of odd cost characters, like the 5-cost stuff from the Supernova package. We're going to play out the Perona first. Then we play out the Kazuki Hiyori, doing some searching. We grab an event. And now I think we're going to swing for 8. And guess what? He can't even block our leader attack because we'll just eat the block from the Bartolomeo and then restand our guy whenever we attack for 8. Okay, or whenever we attack with 3 Dawn attached, I should say, or more. So we're going to swing 2 into 2 here. Let's see if he wants to give us that blocker because we'll gladly take that with our leader effect. Now we're going to swing for 5. They 1k counter out. We're going to play out the Basil Hawkins, and we're a Supernova leader. We are a Supernova leader, so we can block with our Basil Hawkins. So they're going to swing for... They're going to swing for that. Now, we did have to trash a card from the Karasu's effect. We get rid of a 2k counter and we block. They play out a 7-cost Trafalgar Law. They don't have the stage, so they can't follow up and punish us at all. Seems good. We'll play out the Cavendish here. We're going to swing for 8 into 6. Okay, we're going to stand the guy up. We can't attack into the Karasu because it goes off original cost. That really frustrated me. I'm not going to lie. That really frustrated me not being able to attack into the Karasu there. Again, I wish they had kind of done things differently there. Oh, well. That's okay. So they're going to swing for 9 into 7 here. I'm going to 2k, or 2k, 1k to get out of that. I'm going to force him to do something. Okay, he's going to swing for 5, so we're just going to take that. They're going to play out a Karasu. They're going to play out a Bartolomeo. So that was actually... Oh, no, they did not mess up because they only had one 8-cost character with the Karasu on the board. So remember, guys, if we play out this Eustace Kid, we get to draw a card from our life. And we are going to gladly do that because now we have the 8-cost Kid down. We're going to swing it for 6 with the Cavendish. We want all of our life gone now, right? We want to get rid of all of our life and get it all to hand so we can start protecting this Eustace Kid. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what we have to do here. I'm trying to do a little bit of math. I'm trying to decide if I want to swing or not with the Basil Hawkins or what. Okay, and I should have swung for 8, by the way, but it's okay. He ended up countering out. That worked out just fine. And here we go. Looks like we're just going to rest down the Eustace Kid and play out Beige. We have 1 Dawn active, but remember, guys, that Gum Elephant Gun, it can only protect leaders. It cannot protect characters with the 1-cost 3k counter. They're going to swing for 11. We're actually just going to use the blocker right away here. I'm not scared to use it right away. I'm not giving him any cards from hand. I wish I could get more. I wish I could take that last life card, guys, but I don't have any more 8-cost characters in my hand. Okay, so right here, I think we are going to go for the board 1 turn because they're down to 2 cards in hand. I'm going to swing for 9 and see what he does. He takes it. We were going to dedicate. We were going to fully, get rid of that card this turn, guys. So we got rid of that. We're going to play out another blocker. We're going to swing for 6. He gives us a blocker, and now we're actually probably just going to get pretty aggressive here. Okay, we're going to play out the Trafalgar Law over the 1-cost Perona, restanding the Cavendish, swinging for 6. And now I think we're going to swing for 6 more with our leader. And I'm kind of tempted to swing in with the Basil Hawkins. They hit me with a negative hollow trigger. I had to trash a card at random. It was the Perona. That was unfortunate. That was very, very unfortunate. Okay, let's see what they choose to do now. They're going to swing for 8. I think we give them a 2k counter. Excuse me, I had a 1k counter. Very nice. They give me they swing for 10. We give them a 2k counter. They're going to swing for... Okay, they couldn't swing for anything else. So they definitely had a miscalculation there. They should have swung in for the more on the... So, guys, pause. They should have attacked for more with their 7-cost 9k Trafalgar Law, but I did have a blocker. I did have double 2k in hand. I think we were going to be just fine. Okay, so we're going to swing it for 7. We're just going for lethal here. Yep, swing for 7 more, and we still had 2 more attacks left. Good game to our opponent. That was a fun one. I will say this, guys. If you're running any kind of deck that's running Eustace Captain Kidd and any kind of deck that's running Hody Jones, which we're not, I think I think green might end up being kind of a counter color versus Koala, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, we got one more game. We got a game of Kuzan versus Rayleigh. That's right, guys. Kuzan versus Rayleigh. I will say right up front that I do think that Kuzan is probably a very hard counter to Rayleigh, at least the way that I built it. So volume is off, speed is on 2x. Here we go. Let's see what they choose to do here. They have They have 3 Dawn. We went second. We're going to 2K counter out very aggressively so we can play out the Hina here to draw some cards. And I also don't want to dip 2 to low in life for no reason. So right here, I think we're just going to swing for 6 maybe. Yep, just going to swing for 6. We have 2. We have 2 of our 2. It's a waste of human life in hand. We're going to swing in for 6 here. Then we're going to play out the Hina, drawing a card, refilling our hand. Seems good. I like that Hina quite a bit. And it's also a 3-cost 4K. You attach 1 Dawn, you're swinging for 5. Okay, so they use the effect of Rayleigh here, revealing 2 Bad Manners Kit Course. They're going to swing in for 8. We're going to take that, and let's see what happens next. They have 5 Dawn left. They're going to swing for 7 and probably play out another 3-cost character here. Right here, I think we're going to counter out. Looks like we're... no, we end up taking that. I do like taking that there. I think we should have, because we don't want to get rid of all of our counter power just yet. Okay, so here we go. I think we're just going to do some really nice 5K checks into the Sanji here. Yep, swing for 5. Let's see what they want to do. I imagine they're going to block and save this. That was my logic here, was they're just going to block and save this. I didn't want to swing with Hina first, because that would mean that they get a free block with the Shariah. And I just did... okay, they end up countering out. So, okay, hey, that's fine. So now we're going to swing for 5 more into it. Do you want to give me a blocker? Okay, I don't know what happened there. I guess he just wanted to keep the Sanji alive. That's fine. Whatever he chose to keep alive was going to go back to hand because we played out the Suru. We trashed 2 cards. We get to cycle through 2 more cards, and they had to they had to push a character back to hand. Okay, I mean, this is a pretty good board state so far, right, guys? We're doing all right. We're doing all right. We'll see what the Zoro VS Rayleigh has in store for us next here. I have an idea, guys. I'm going to say this right now. I've got a new idea for Zoro VS Rayleigh that I want to mess around with going forward. I think I'm going to be changing the direction slightly. I want to keep it still like Straw Hat Crew, like the best cards from Straw Hat Crew. And I think I'm going to add film to the mix. But I'll save that for another video. All right, so they're going to swing for 7 here. We are going to 2K, 1K to get out of that because we had a lot of cards in hand. I need to not dip too low in life. If I dip down too low, he might have a lot of cards that can just finish me off out of nowhere. He's going to go 5 and a 4 here. I don't like that. I'm actually going to 2K counter out. I want to keep my board. I actually want to keep the board here. All right, so here we go. We have an 8 Dawn turn, so I can actually swing 5 into this card 3 times and still play out my 6-cost 8,000 power Kuzan. So I'm just going to eat this person's hand up. Okay, we're just going to eat up every card in their hand here. I'm going to swing for 5. They let it go. Okay, so that's fine. Now we're going to swing 5 at life, then we're going to swing 5 more at life, and then we're going to slam down this Kuzan and say, sorry, bud, you're not going to get to swing with your Sanji yet again. Yet again, you're not going to get to swing with the Sanji. We're going to trash a card from hand. We're going to trash that 3-cost Kuzan to cycle through to another Kuzan. This deck is playing out a lot better than I thought it would. And remember, guys, that's without seeing any of the new support that is directly tied to this leader other than the 6-cost Kuzan, of course. Okay, so they cannot attack with Sanji now. I've locked that card down with my 6-cost character, and because I have 5 or more cards in hand, that is a 7-cost character with 8,000 power. So it's outside of the range of your standard, you know, your the Gum Gum Mole Gun or Gum Gum Mole Pistol or whatever it's called. Notice that card I have on the screen there. That might come in very handy this game, but I'm going to give you guys a spoiler because I don't want to tease y'all. It ends up not coming up because we end up just getting rid of every card they play. So they're going to smash into the Suru there. We're going to let that go. 6 and a 4. We can't save that anyway. And now let's see what they choose to do. They have 8 Dawn left. They're going to so for 6 Dawn, they're going to swing for 7 into my guy with the Rush Zoro. You know, the conditional Dawn ×2 Rush Zoro. And now what are they going to do? This is just a absolute perfect turn. This is a pristine turn for a Gravity Blade. Let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to swing for 8 into this card. I'm trying to see if he'll protect it. Whatever the case is, I'm trying to get a card out of his hand. If he protects it, then I get a card out of hand. If he lets it go and plays a card to the board, I get that card out of hand still, and I Red Rocket or I Grab Blade it off the field. Okay, so let's see what he chooses to do here. He is going to use Gum Gum Red Hawk here. So in this, at that point, I've kind of decided, like, wait a minute. I don't think they have any card to play out because they would have just used it, right? I feel like they would have just used it there. So I'm just going to Grab Blade and swing for 8 now. I didn't want to waste another attack into him. I'm just going to put him in lethal range for next turn. So now he has to deal with my board. We got a Borsalino on the board now as well. We have removal. Everything's looking pretty good so far, guys. Everything feels pretty good so far. All right, they're on their 10 Dawn turn, though. What is Rayleigh going to do? Remember, guys, I do have this in 2x speed. This person's just trying to figure out what he wants to do. 10 into 8 was a great call because I only had 2K counter in hand. 10 into 8 is going to get the job done. He has 5 Dawn left. He plays out a 3-cost Shariah, and he has 2 Dawn left for events. All right, so I think in this situation here, I think we should just slam down the Borsalino. Just get this card off the board. Don't leave it around so it can keep blocking. It's just better to get it off the board. We'll swing in for 8. Does he have another Red Hawk? He might. Maybe even a 1-cost Rad Beam. Nope, he had to give me 2 2K counters there, guys. He had to give me 2 2K counters. Seems good. We'll take it. Okay, and they're going to go ahead and tap out. As soon as they showed me Bad Manners Kit Course, let me just say something, guys. Swinging for 8,000 power into a person who you know has Bad Manners Kit Course. It's pretty dirty. It's a pretty low play there, but I wasn't even really trying to do that. But guys, they showed me Bad Manners Kit Course at the beginning of the game. So of course, I'm going to swing for like 5s and 8s. You know, excuse me. 5s, 6s, and 8s is probably what I'm going to swing for to just make those Bad Manners Kit Courses not even that relevant. But again, guys, I wasn't even really trying to do that. That's just kind of how it worked out. Rayleigh has his struggles, okay, guys? Rayleigh has his struggles. Hopefully, we'll be able to solve those over time, and hopefully more support comes out that helps it directly. Okay. That's it for the games on the sim. Let me go ahead and move my camera back. So now, just like same format as yesterday's video, we're just going to go backwards now. I think Kuzan has a lot of potential. After kind of playing, I know that was just a game against Rayleigh, and people say that, you know, people are kind of speculating that might be like one of the weaker leaders coming out of OP12. And this leader is completely built to deal with it. I mean, we're running 4 grab blades. We're even running 2 of It's a Waste of Human Life. This bottom decks all 3 cost or lower characters on the field and makes everyone trash their hand down to 5. We're running the Surus, which are insane in here, plus the Borsalinos. Like, this deck that you see right here is probably one of the hardest counters to Rayleigh you could ever imagine, right? I mean, even this card, Stainless, bounces cards, Aramaki, and it can only bounce these small cards. Well, Rayleigh can't even go above 4 cost. It goes 4 cost and lower cards. It cannot play 5 cost or higher cards. Excuse me. But other than that, I will say that the deck was performing pretty well. I think it will largely depend on what more support we see for this leader. That is going to be the main thing. I can't really talk much about it. I have not put in enough play testing. It would be nice to have a few more blockers in here because I am running 8 blockers currently, running 2 Maynard, 2 of the X-Drake, and 4 Aramaki. In fact, it might even be better to kind of go like -1 Aramaki and +1 Maynard or something like that. I don't know, just for more utility. Even if we go 2 Aramaki and go 1 Maynard and 1 X-Drake, there might be something to, you know, there might be something we can do there. And then we have to see what more support comes out. But as is, this list felt pretty strong. And if it gets any more extra cards that have like really powerful effects to trash a card, to cycle with the leader effect, this leader could be much better than I thought it was. Okay, that's all I have to say for Kuzan for now, because again, we just don't have much to go off of. Other than that, and so now we got to go over to Green Zoro. Where did Zoro go? Oh, okay, there it is. This card, or this leader here, there's a few cards I really want to include. There's some cool stuff here. Let me see if it brings up all slash characters if I type that in the sim. Okay, nice. So again, big props. You know, shout out to Batsu for making such an incredible sim here. This is a whole nother direction we might want to pursue with the deck, is maybe not even care about Supernova as much as I cared about it, because we can still search up the Supernova events no problem, and most of the Supernova cards that matter no problem, like these Cavendish and these Trafalgar Laws here, and the events we were talking about, just by running 4 Perona and 4 of this Kazuki Hiyori, and then we can just search up a bunch of slash characters, like this 9-cost Zoro, 4-cost Ryuma. There's actually a lot of really, really solid slash characters. Even this 5-cost Smoker is slash, guys. You know, really cool stuff here. We'll be able to search this up. I'm surprised they didn't make... I'm actually surprised they didn't make Tashigi slash. But who knows? I don't know enough about the lore to distinguish that. Basil Hawkins is slash. We'll take that as well. So that might be the new direction we go forward. Oh, and the Mihawk here. There's a 2K counter that's slash. There's a lot of options for this, and I will say moving forward, this is probably going to be, and this buggy, goodness, I'm sorry guys, I keep getting sidetracked because we saw the Arlong as well. We got this 3-cost Arlong. That won't work well because this is Fishman or East Blue, and this is a Supernova or Straw Hat leader here. But I will say this buggy, this Zoro, pause and read this if you don't know what it does, and then the Arlong that we saw in the game that we played against the Zoro. I can't find it now, guys. Where is it? Where's the Arlong? I don't see it. I'm just going to type in Arlong. Okay, I was talking about this one. So, like, cards like this and the other slash characters, that might be a better direction to pursue going forward for this leader, because we still get access to the Cavendish, we get access to the Trafalgar Laws, we get access to these events, the searches we were running in this Basil Hawkins. We would lose access to Eustace Captain Kidd, but that's okay. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we don't need a card like this in the deck. Maybe instead of this card, we go -3 of these and go +3 Hody Jones. That would not be searchable either. Actually, hang on a second. Is Hody Jones is probably striker, right? Yeah, he's a strike character. But hear me out. Okay, maybe we don't even care, right? Maybe we really don't care about searching this card up. It's just going to be in the deck. When we see it, we see it. When we don't, we don't. And then the 2K counters in this deck they were nothing to begin with. These were just searchable 2K counters with Bonnie. That's all it was. So that is a serious... we might have to go in that direction in the future for this leader. So my apologies there, guys. I don't think this is the most optimal list, even after just brainstorming it even further. But hey, that's why we do these videos. Like, let's, this might inspire someone to make a better version of the Supernova list for Zoro. But at the same time, I think a better decision, like I said, would be running just a pure slasher build. Okay? All right, so that's it for Zoro. Now, I do want to spend a little bit more time on blue-purple Sanji. This leader, let me put it on the screen here, get this off the, get this out of there, no distractions. I think this leader has a lot of potential for the win attacking effect. And the activate main, that's going to, just like I keep saying with Kuzan, and like I didn't really mention it with Zoro, because I was going to say it's really going to depend on what kind of support we see from Zoro as well. That might make us want to go even further down the slash path or whatever. The slash direction. The slasher direction? Does that make sense? I don't know. You guys tell me. But anyway, with Sanji, we'll have to see about the activate main effect. Hopefully we can find something better than Gum Gum Jet Culverin, or at least something on the same par as Jet Culverin. But at the same time, I really like this Gum Gum Giant in there. We can just run that anyway because our leader can run it, so why wouldn't we? However, I think a direction that I would like to pursue more with this leader is more of a Dawn -1 type of direction, where it's like, okay, we just run all the best Dawn -1 effects that we can. And in fact, I didn't even mess with this. Sanji and Pudding is Straw Hat and Big Mom Pirates. 5 cost 7K. Your turn, once per turn, when 2 or more of your Dawn cards are returned to your Dawn deck, set up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as active. And then on play, if the number of Dawn cards on your field are equal to or less than your opponent's, you can draw a card. So that's kind of interesting. We can actually cheat this out potentially with something like Luffy Taro, and that will drop our Dawn down to equal to our opponents, right? Because this is, if the number of Dawn cards are equal to or less than your opponent's, draw a card. There might be something there, guys. We might have to explore that. So who knows, actually? I don't know, guys. I'm all over the place. We'll have to see what happens. But whatever the case is, excuse me, I did do a stream not too long ago with my buddy Joey from Hard Pirates TCG, and we were kind of brainstorming this leader. Excuse me, guys. My throat's going crazy. And he had the idea as well to just use really powerful Dawn minus effects and just use this when attacking effect primarily, right? Like whatever activate main we can use, of course, we can run that. But we can just run all the most powerful Dawn -1 effects in here. Like, let me just bring up, like, 1-cost purple cards. There's probably not many good ones. Let me just start right at 4. So, any kind of, like, Dawn... Actually, I need to start at 3, because I think there is one card, no, that's a Dawn ×1. I think there's a Jack. Okay, it is when attacking. Never mind. It is... I mean, this is still good, too, but hear me out, guys. What I was going to say was this. Any type of Dawn -1 effect that you can pull off in this deck is probably going to be very beneficial, right? Because you can just attack and bring your Dawn right back up. So again, with this card here, this Jack, okay, 3 cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter, when attacking, Dawn -1. Your opponent trashes a card from their hand. Okay, well now we attack with our leader and we get the Dawn right back. It's actually just it's so perfect for that. And I actually thought there was another 3-cost card that had an effect just like that. And I want to say it was a Jack that had an on-play effect. I'm just going to have to type it in real quick, guys. Was it this one? No, okay, it trashed a card. Never mind. I thought this did a Dawn -1 effect. That's okay, though. This is and it is Dawn ramp anyway, so that would have made sense. So never mind. But anyway, so you have access to something like that. There's other 3 costs as well. Maybe we end up running something like Porsche and do like more of a Foxy Pirates type of theme if we can get away with it. And then for your 4-cost spot, there's a lot of Dawn -1 stuff in the 4-cost spot, I think. Meanwhile, I can't find any of them, right? I don't know. Actually, I don't really know what to look for. Well, I guess you could even run Frankie. Frankie ends up being like a true Dawn -1 in this effect, or in this deck, because you can Dawn -2. You have to do on-play Dawn -2. And then you'll be able to get one of the Dawn back, though, with Sanji. So that might be worth considering as well. What else? Is there any other effect on here? This is a card that's coming out in OP12. Pause and read this if you don't know what it does. That is one option. But that's really this is an on KO Dawn -1. Yeah, there's actually not that many purple on played like Dawn -1 effects for purple right now. But there are a lot of very powerful effects for purple. Oh, here we go. Here's probably the best option. Trafalgar Law, 4 cost, 5,000 power, blocker, on play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 more cards, they have to trash 2. So there are a few out there. This is even an on block Dawn -1. That could be interesting to mess around with. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, but then going up into the 5 cost stuff, we've got cards like Magellan. We have cards like this Senior Pink. Where's Magellan at? Even this, well, no, the trigger's the Dawn -2. Never mind. This ramps it on. Here we go. So you have Magellan, Dawn -1. That's pretty solid. There's a lot of different things we're going to be able to mess around with, guys. There's a lot of different stuff. For 6 cost, this is, you have King. 5 cost, you also have Queen. And is this? No, the Rosinante is a trash a card effect. But Queen's Dawn -1. What else we got? So 6 cost we talked about. That had King in it. 7 cost had this Sanji. There's just a lot of different things we could do. And even this Eustace Captain Kidd. If we build an entire deck, again, built around Dawn minusing 1 per turn, well, we end up getting these super powerful Dawn minus effects, and then we're not actually losing the Dawn because we attack with our leader afterwards and get the Dawn right back. So there might be something there. And again, big shout out to my buddy Joey from Heart Pirates TCG. When we were kind of ranking the new leaders, we did a stream on that. And, we talked about a bunch of the leaders in there. I won't go into all the details on that, but when we were talking about this leader, he brought that up. Joey brought that up, and I was like, man, that's actually a great idea. Just use the win attacking effect. Because I tried something like this a long time ago with Reiju, where it's like, I just want to Dawn minus and draw a bunch of cards every turn. Like, every card I play, I want to use as like a Dawn minus effect, so that I can draw the card and replace it immediately with my leader effect. But that ended up really hurting the deck, because I was never going up in Dawn. I was only going up in Dawn 1 per turn. Because if I go up to 1, let's say I go up to 4 Dawn and I use a Dawn minus effect, well, now I'm down to 3. So next turn I'm up to 5 Dawn, and if I use another Dawn minus effect, I'm down to 4. Then I go up to 6 Dawn, so I'm only going up 1 Dawn per turn ultimately. But Sanji completely gets around that. I'm going to really try to make this leader work in the future. I've got a lot of really cool ideas in my head that I want to mess around with. So yeah. Well, that's it, guys. I'm pretty much done yapping for now. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page on here. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're helping me, supporting me through donations on Patreon or PayPal, the Playmat supporters, the YouTube members, the Discord community, however you're helping me out, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, I'm done. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and one more thing I do want to say, too, is we will be streaming tonight. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 p.m. Eastern to 12 a.m. Be sure to stop by, hang out, and check out some of the action on there with some of these new leaders. I should be playing some of the new leaders tonight. Okay? All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, guys. Peace.